All right. Welcome to Inside the Grind podcast, the podcast for people building real coffee shops. Every episode, we sit down with someone who's deep in the day to day, hiring, fixing, worrying, making hard choices, and still showing up to serve. These are honest stories from founders in the thick of it. No fluff, no ego, just the real grind and what's getting them through. If you're building something on your blog, this one's for you. Brought to you by Coffee Futures Fund.
So do you see any common patterns, common mistakes, or, common patterns is possibly the right word, but in terms of other people may not be thinking or doing right when you talk about standing out and the fun of it, which is standing out as a unique coffee shop that people like to come back to?
Yeah, and I think some of it's at kind of the heart of what we're building with Coffee Futures Fund is sort of understanding that really why and that purpose and being really clear on why your coffee shop exists. And I think that's oftentimes what is missing when you walk into shops that you're like, maybe I'm not going to come back here. It's that sense of like, how is this different? And so you can really feel it when a coffee shop knows why it exists. It exists to serve a community, or it exists because it's looking to elevate a certain product or a style of service, or, just trying to bring you that sum total of things. And to me, like when coffee shops get it, I think that's when they endure, and that's where they also thrive. Tying it into like the Coffee Futures Fund, I think that's where we're offering the opportunity to really bring folks together to not only work on that, but have this environment where it's the safe space to work on that, where it's not just, I'm going to kind of throw it out to the world and hope that someone gets it, but you really have the opportunity to like work with your peers and then also work with industry mentors to feel really good about pushing that out in the world in like the best way possible.
Love that. That's so true, right? Because I feel, one thing that I've observed in my little career is also the impact of this access and support of peers, the community, right? Because it's a lonely job. If you're an owner, if you're an operator, if you're at the head of top of the mountain, it's a really lonely job. Of course, you have a fancy title and you have so many things, and you have to be you're grateful for so many things that you're driving. But at the end of the day, you're alone, finding your own answers to your own questions. And this opportunity, this beauty of having a group of people who understand you. Not necessarily in terms of business, and they may not have all the answers for your business, but they just understand you at a base level, at the emotional level, and that's so uplifting. So that just powers you so much that you're more excited now to go back the next day and then put fires to another 15 problems that you're seeing in a coffee shop. And on top of that, when you mentor, yeah, right. So tell me this. I'm curious about this because you talked about the why, which is so important, right? So what are some low-hanging fruits, if you may, that some people have to start immediately? Okay, am I really doing it the right way? Am I really connected to my heart when I'm operating this shop? What are some low-hanging fruits that people can immediately sort of work on and then get a step ahead?
I mean, I think some of it is doing a little bit of that inner work, or just kind of even having the opportunity, taking the step back. And I know that's usually the time is in short supply, but having that chance to kind of go, okay, why am I here? Why did I start this? What am I passionate about? What do I love doing and gets me up in the morning? And being clear on sort of those things, but then also even being clear on, okay, these are the things that maybe are energy drainers. They might have to happen, right? You have to run payroll. You have to order all the supplies that you need as well. You have to order your coffee every week. But being, I think, clear on what energizes you and what drains you, I think can be a low-hanging fruit, because there are things that you can see, hey, these are things that I want to maybe keep doing more of, and maybe these are other things that I want to do less of. So can I outsource it? Can I find a way to systematize it or make it easier? And it's those small steps where, that's not going to solve all your problems in one day, but taking just even, it could take as easy, like as quick as 15 minutes to kind of step back and give yourself that space to kind of investigate that. I think then kind of makes the road ahead a little bit easier, because you kind of know the areas you need to, hey, I never want to think about this part again. Like, I don't ever want to think about HR onboarding again or something. But, hey, this is my bugaboo. And so this is the area that I probably need to get help in, because I feel like that's the area too that oftentimes owners, but even coffee shop managers, you kind of get so, in the day to day that it's hard to step back and go, okay, what should I look for help on? And kind of what can I continue to do?
Yeah. And so if you were to double down on this in terms of, if I as a owner operator have taken this step back, 15 minutes, 30 minutes of my time just to, clean head, just to think in terms of, okay, what is my why? What am I missing? What I can do right? I wonder what's the next step? Because now, okay, I have some authentic, real points that I feel on paper. What do I do next? Because I may still have this question about, am I thinking the right way? What I put down on paper, is this really actionable, so to speak? What if I'm just not in the right headspace and things I've written down on paper is not really the right thing that I should be focusing on?
Sure.
So a quick validation step, what would that be? What do you think?
I think the validation step would be, okay, then kind of going through and prioritizing what's important for your business to keep running, right? So it's like, hey, this thing might bother me, but at the end of the day, if I stopped doing it, would the business still continue to run smoothly? Or, if I spent a little more time on it, like, could this actually make such a big difference in my business? So I think prioritizing it and kind of then going, okay, I have this list of bugaboos, but also joy bringers. Do I need to continue doing this? Like, some of it's like, it might bring you a lot of joy sometimes to be at the front of the line and be serving customers. And that's just, it's so nice to make someone a latte, right? Sometimes and be like, I made this for you and have that personal connection. But as an owner, to prioritize it within your business and sort of rank in and be like, hey, if I stepped away from doing this and allowed maybe my baristas to do it, could this actually help my business? Does this give me more time to work on the things that I hate, but kind of leads me towards that path of not just living in the minute by minute overwhelm?
I like that because it's so actionable. It's so, I mean, anyone and everyone, wherever they are, any part of the world, they're listening to you, they can actually see themselves doing it and taking that, smaller step to move ahead in life. How about we switch gears? I have a very, this question I had put down on paper just, if I don't ask anything, if this interview, this podcast is just 2 minutes, I'll ask this question and then we'll end it at that. That's what I want to know from you. All right. So okay. The question is, symmetry or chaos?
Symmetry or chaos? Oh, I don't know. I think, I think I could answer both, which is also kind of the thing. I can always take the devil's advocate side of things. I think, I lean towards symmetry. I have to be totally honest. Like, I want to give the chaos answer and be like, I love some chaos. Like, let's lean into the chaos. Yeah. And I think there's also space for that, right? Sometimes you just kind of have to go rogue and be like, what if we just did everything? Or like, what if I did nothing? And like embrace that chaos. But I do tend towards symmetry. And I think that would come back to sort of what we were talking about earlier in the sense of making connections, is that I am looking to kind of like create symmetry, to bring things together, to see at the end of the day that things aren't, maybe the ideas, the topics, the fears aren't all disparate. The people, we aren't actually all that far off in terms of how we exist in the world, how we approach things, or just even the opportunities, right? And so I would say, symmetry.
Symmetry, yeah.
It doesn't mean that we're identical, but it means that, we can find synchronicity and sort of a level of, symmetry is a good word for it.
Yeah, I like that. That's really cool. I have this game for you. Do you want to play a game?
Sure.
It's called a 3-2-1 game. All right. So we pick 3 prompts. We have 2 minutes to speak on any one prompt. I mean, 2 minutes is not 2 minutes. You can speak less, but some ballpark. 3 prompts, 2 minutes, 1 prompt. You basically talk on 1 prompt. All right. So
all right.
You're in a room right now. Pick 3 things, 3 objects that you see. Just objects, and tell me what those 3 objects are. Have you picked 3 objects?
Is that the 3 that I then whittle down to 1? Oh, hard. In my actual physical room right now, or my hypothetical room?
In your actual physical room right now. Actually, I shouldn't have done that. I gave you, the next steps, but 3 things. 3 things. Tell me.
All right. My 3 things would probably be my coffee mug. There is a vase of flowers behind me, and I guess I'm staring at this computer monitor in front of me. So
computer monitor. All right. Okay. Interesting. So
it might not be very strategic, but I went with sort of.
Yeah, that's what I spilled the beans too early. So you got a coffee mug, you got a vase of flowers, and you got a monitor in front of you. So what is that first thing that comes to your mind? You can pick any of the 3 objects. So that's on you. Let's say you talk about a coffee mug. What is that for? Is there a story that comes to your mind first, that comes to your mind that sort of, I wouldn't say pivotal in your life, but that stands out, at least in your memory? It could be good, it could be happy, it could be, just a regular day's story, whatever it is, but something that sort of stands out in your memory.
I mean, and I obviously go towards I got to talk about the coffee mug. And I think there's so many stories I could say about a coffee mug. I think part of it is that like an actual ceramic coffee mug is just a great thing. This is maybe a little like tangential, but that's what I think about in terms of, man, I love drinking coffee out of an actual mug. I don't like it when coffee shops don't allow me that opportunity, right? When they push me into drinking out of a paper cup, because I think the experience is so much better. And then there's so many things to say about a coffee mug. Like everyone has a favorite coffee mug, and it's so fascinating to ask someone, like, what's your favorite coffee mug? You're probably thinking of your favorite coffee mug right now, and how that develops. And just becomes such a symbol of, hey, this is my morning ritual with that coffee's part of.
That's cool. That's cool. The story of a ceramic mug and the experience around it. That's cool. That's really cool. Good stuff. Thanks for playing with me.
That's it for this episode of Inside the Grind. If something here helped, make sure to subscribe and pass it to another coffee shop or a friend. We all need each other more than we admit. To learn more or join the community, head to coffeefutures.fun. This movement is just getting started. Until next time, keep brewing. Your shop matters more than you know.